So how did I go from having no customers, no database, to selling 4 cars in one day? This is a true story. My name's Sotiris. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking out the channel. If you're listening to the audio experience on podcast, thanks for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, lovely to see your faces. So I went from having no database, joining the industry with no customers that I could go to, and selling 4 cars in one day. Now, how do you do that without having a good long run of renewal customers coming in? Well, I knew I needed to be different. I knew I needed to think of a way outside of the box because I had more experienced colleagues. If people were walking on the forecourt, the chances were they were going to get out there before me, or they were going to know what to say better than me. They had their renewals coming in, and I didn't want to be shown up as the new guy coming on the block. So I looked for different ways to interact with the customers that could potentially buy cars. And I needed customers that were almost halfway through the journey because I was new. I didn't know how to take them through this journey properly, and I'd probably have just wasted a lot of time otherwise. So what customers are maybe already in the dealership, already going to be spending some money with the dealership that I don't need to wait for an appointment that's going to be sporadically placed around? Well, I thought outside the box, and I'm sure you're all shouting it now, and if you're not, here's a brilliant tip for any new sales executives: the service diary. You have customers continually rolling through your business for service. They need MOTs, they need tires changed, they need oil fill-ups, they need services. They're going to be spending money with your dealership regardless. And they are sat in your waiting area. They're sat there, they're already in the dealership. You've not had to pull them in off the street. They're already be spending money with the dealership, so you're not going to have to explain how maybe today's going to be an expensive day because they're already going to be doing it. The battle is half done at this point. So what you need to do now is maybe say, let's look at what car they've got. The car's in for service. You can track their name, the registration, find out whose it is. Look at the car they've got. Is it on finance? Have a look. Oh, that finance is nearly coming to an end. So that customer's going to be needing to make a decision soon. Would they rather pay for their service today, or would they like us to clear that and instead put a deposit on a new car because they're going to have to be changing anyway soon? So that's one avenue. Okay, you can go in, have a look at what car they've got at the moment, see that maybe their car's getting a bit old, but it's a 7-seater. Brilliant. You've got a new 7-seater that's just come into the range, and you've got a demonstrator sat outside. Does that customer, or would they rather, do you imagine, sit waiting for their car to come and a bill to be placed on their lap, or whilst they're waiting for an hour or two, here's the keys for a sparkling new car that's outside that we've just got. It's got fuel in it. Just go take it for a spin. It'll give you something to do for a bit. Brilliant. They're going to choose the car every time. And the thing is, they'll get used to driving that car. They'll get used to the feeling that when they pulled up at the supermarket just on their little trip, that people are looking going, that's a nice car. And they go, oh, this is nice. And then when they get the keys back for their other car that's just finished the service, they're going to be like, oh, this isn't quite as nice. Was there figures that we could get for that car? Brilliant, because you've already thought of that. Whilst they're out on the drive, you looked at some figures for them, the best deal you could do. This is what I did. I looked at the service diary, who was coming in for the day, where they were in their agreement, if they had finance, what kind of car they had, what times they were coming in. So I used throughout the day, I knew I wanted one at 8:30 in the morning. I wanted to give myself some time just in case that customer did want to proceed. So then the next customer at 10 o'clock, I'd focus on them. Next customer at 1 o'clock, I'd have them. And I spread those out throughout the day and made sure I focused on a couple of the customers. And if you don't have the ability, maybe your management are busy to not be able to actually go and interact and find out where they are in finance agreements and things like that, you have different means that you can do. Just start talking to the customers. They're sat down, they're having a chin wag with the person next to them, or they're just sat there on their own waiting for their car to be done. Go and say hi. Be friendly. Offer them a cup of coffee. Say, have you seen the new version? What are you driving at the moment? Oh, we're driving this SUV. But have you seen the new one? It's lush. It's open if you wanted to go and have a look. Just, oh yeah, that'll give me something to do. They don't feel like they're impeding on anyone. They don't feel like they're going to be hunted down as soon as they touch a car in the showroom because you've already addressed them. You said, oh, go and have a look. And they're sitting in it, and now they're envisaging themselves. The old adage, bums on seats sells cars. It works. They're sat in this car imagining themselves in something newer, something nicer than what they've got currently being worked on. How much would this cost to have? Brilliant. The conversations opened up. So it doesn't even need to be an in-depth look into their finance. It might just be a conversation with somebody that's already sat in the dealership. So my big tip here would be utilize the service diary. That is how I managed to sell 4 cars in one day. No appointments were booked prior for me personally. I'd not booked any appointments. I didn't have a database. I didn't have renewals coming through. There weren't loads of people on the forecourt, but I sold 4 cars in one day using the service diary. If you've enjoyed this video and you've got something out of it, please consider sticking around. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I love your faces, and I will catch you in the next episode.